Hey everyone, Sirturmund here again. Hope you guys didn't miss me too much yesterday. Again, if you didn't see the end of Thursday's video, I am currently on a work trip, so instead of videos every day, we're kind of doing videos every 2 days because I was able to pre-record enough of them to last us until I come back next week. So yeah, so let's get on right onto it. So today I bring you guys some Tristana Teemo Rainbow Fish Phase. Now, I feel like this deck is currently very underplayed. For one reason or another, a lot of people are not playing a lot of Phase. I mean, I guess Fizz Aphelios is still very popular, and now you have Raven Fizz that's playing the Rainbow Fish Gleaming Lantern package. But I think this one is really, really good too at what it does, and people are not playing this version of the deck as much. If you guys are not familiar with this version, it came about when people were trying to play both Fizz Aphelios plus another Rainbow Fish package on the same lineup. And this is what people came up with, which is Tristana, Teemo, Rainbow Fish, Gleaming Lantern. If you're not familiar with those type of decks, it's all about Gleaming Lantern combining with Grandfather Fade and combining with Rainbow Fish, right? So your Gleaming Lantern is discounting your Grandfather Fade on your other Fade units. Your Grandfather Fade is buffing the stuff like it's buffing your face and also gives you a free Owlcat. The Owlcat can come down with 3 attack and spell shield. You put a Rainbow Fish on it, and now you have an Owlcat that's elusive, has 5 attack, has 3 health, and has spell shield. And then from there you can start just pushing so much pressure on the opponent, right? In this deck, it can get even crazier. Obviously, because we have Tristana, and Tristana can also buff the Owlcat, because the Owlcat is a Ionia Bando City unit, right? So the idea with this concept is that instead of relying on the Aphelios package, which obviously Aphelios is very good, it gives you all the moon weapons in the world, Tristana is able to serve like as a secondary Grandfather Fade, right? If you guys remember when Tristana Fade Swarm was very popular, where it was Tristana Demacia, it's the same idea, right? Tristana is able to buff up your face, make them have even more attack, and also potentially be able to give them impact. And same thing, you know, maybe Tristana gets really, really big and you can just slap a Rainbow Fish on the Tristana and call it a day. That's also an option. Just because of how quickly she can get to like 8, 9, 10 attack, right? So just keep that in mind that that's also a line that you can take. The rest of the deck is just kind of a lot more phase support cards, right? So we have Phase Sprout, which just gives you a new Fade and can synergize with your Gleaming Lantern or your Grandfather Fade. Teemo is just there because I feel like Teemo is a little bit better than Fizz in this deck because we don't play a lot of proactive spells. So a lot of our spells are more reactive except for the Phase Sprout. So you don't want to be using like your spells to be able to trigger the Fizz. The Commander is there to give us more Hungry Owlcats. Blast Conceding and the Minion are there as like early blockers that also work towards leveling up your Tristana or buffing themselves up. Nullify and Deny obviously are there as reactive tool to stop opponent from stopping your game plan. Pokestick is just a great card to draw. One of Syncopation because we talked about how big Tristana can get, right? And you can also be cheeky. Sometimes you can get Papercraft Dragon from Phase Sprout and swap like a unit that has Papercraft Dragon into an open spot that the opponent's not blocking and be able to do lethal damage that way. And Syncopation can also save you, right? So let's say that you're attacking with like a big Tristana and the opponent does a Vengeance on her, you can Syncopation and have the Tristana be able to survive against like a Vengeance. Twin Discipline helps keep our units alive and also push damage. Tasty Faithful is there because since we don't have Aphelios, we don't have access to like the healing moon weapon. So if we go against aggro, we want to be able to survive against aggro, and Tasty Folk allows us to do exactly that, right? So Tasty Folk becomes like a really big, usually 5 attack lifesteal unit that can get a lot of damage through, and you can even put Rainbow Fish into it to continuously be able to attack with it more and more. Rainbow Fish, we talked about it enough. I think this card is busted. If you guys don't know, Quicksand doesn't stop it because it doesn't actually remove the attach effect. So the unit, even if the opponent hushes or Quicksand, it still keeps the elusive. This card is just busted, and I'm surprised he hasn't been nerfed yet. 2 Will of Ionia to be able to stop stuff like Viego, stuff like Trolls, right? Once they already are on the field. It can be really good at keeping your units alive and getting rid of the opponent's threats. And then Triple Sailing just allows us to have so much draw and keep our hand in a healthy state while also being able to buff our units if we need them to be able to push a lot of damage. Again, this deck is all about swarming the field really quickly with all your face using the Gleaming Lanterns and then trying to finish the game towards the end game with your Rainbow Fish to kind of do the final points of damage that you need. hope you enjoy the games coming out soon. And as always, if you like the content, please make sure to like the video below and subscribe to us. We post LOR videos every day usually, but because we're in a work trip, for the next few videos, it's going to be every other day. So I hope you guys don't mind that too much. I'll see you all at the end of the video for some mulligan tips. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Ekko Zilean. This is pretty bad for Fizz. So Ekko Zilean is one of the best counter matchup against Fizz. I wonder if Tristana makes sense in this matchup though, because Tristana having quick attack is huge. Nopify could also save us against a potential cat, right? I think I'm fine keeping Tristana, and obviously I'm always keeping the Grandfather Fade. Opponent gets the drop border right away. We'll go ahead and do the. Maybe I don't do the Grandfather Fade until I have Tristana in the field though. That's also a consideration, because that way I can buffer the Grandfather Fade to have 2 attack and actually become a decent attacker / blocker. I'm gonna play slow. We're gonna be taking a lot of damage here though, right? We're gonna be taking a lot of damage. I'm gonna play it slow. Do Tristana turn 3, Grandfather Fade on turn 4 with the Alka right next to it. Have the Nopify still as a backup potential, right? No. Wow. Well, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be 2, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna go down to 13.
If your prediction is correct, we have much to look forward to.
Yeah, we're gonna go down to 13. I cannot block with Tristana, right? Because blocking with Tristana means that we just lose to a time bomb. I think I need to just try to get value with Tristana being on the field. The problem is that the drop border can easily block the Owlcats. You came a turn too late, my friend. You came a turn too late.
Ekko, you were supposed to be here tomorrow.
Just a turn too late. Come on, man. Okay, he gets to level up his Ekko. Gets to level up his Ekko. So we're free to attack with Tristana. We're free to attack with Tristana, the Gleaming Lantern, and the Hungry Owlcat, right? I guess the Owlcat is... So the reason that I'm okay attacking with the Owlcat right now is because I don't want the opponent to have that much value. Okay, well, I forgot about Scrying Sands, right? So we get a little bit of play by Scrying Sands. Giving him access to potentially have so much value now. I guess if we ever draw a second Pokey Stick, it actually ends up being pretty good for us. I think I need to Pokey now, right? So I need to Pokey now because we need to play around Rattle Negation. So potential Rattle Negation could be a problem. I never play around Scrying Sands, which is always a problem. Yeah, oh wow, we actually drew it. We actually drew the second Pokey Stick. So Rattle Negation can be denied, right? Which is pretty good for us. Opponent's gonna have access to I still don't want to block with Tristana, but I think I block with Tristana here. Here we go like this. Opponent could have Absolver, I guess. Absolver would be a bigger punish. Yeah, Absolver would be a bigger punish because he can also kill Tristana. I think I just let it go. We still have access to Nopify, right? We still have access to Nopify to stop his rally. The fact that the opponent didn't commit the second Absolver was so that they could play around it. And we also get a second Tristana now, right? Pretty sure that the opponent's gonna try to rally here. So they're gonna try to rally. We have the Nopify for the first rally. We're gonna have the Tristana Buster Shot for the second. Yeah, there you go. So we're gonna have the deny for the second rally. So we can do it like this. We have 6, 7. Now we only have 6 mana. So we can Buster Shot, but if we Buster Shot, we can't summon any other unit, so we cannot level up Tristana. I think it's actually Hungry Owlcat and Teemo. I think it's Hungry Owlcat and Teemo. Yeah, I like this. I like Hungry Owlcat and Teemo. Tell the opponent that if they want to block, they can block. But we have the same problem that we had here, right? That we had earlier. Where everywhere that we attack is kind of entering pretty bad for us. Because if we attack with the Alcat, we actually end up giving him the value. He's always gonna block Tristana. I think I'm gonna keep the Alcat back. I'm gonna keep the Alcat back this time around. Let's just push the 4 damage. The only time that I can bust a shot is if the opponent taps out of like the only time I can bust a shot is if the opponent taps out of the mana to be able to actually resummon Ekko. Because if they have like another, oh wow, this is perfect. It sucks, right? Because they get the time bomb, but they shouldn't have a way to revive Ekko now. Yeah, they don't. There we go. They don't have a way to revive Ekko. We do lose the Teemo. We lose the Teemo, and our other units go a little bit low in value. We have the deny. Opponent could easily have a second Ekko, or they could get a second time bomb, which is a problem. We're gonna have to probably summon the Tasty Tafel because we're gonna probably need some health. So we're definitely gonna need some health here sooner rather than later because we are at 3 HP. Because we lose 2 units. I guess we always attack with the hungry Alka last turn, huh? I think we were always supposed to attack with the hungry Alka. Yeah, so there we go. So we can do this. Opponent's gonna have to have Quicksand here. We're gonna have to sacrifice Tristana, I guess. Opponent tapped out of Quicksand, though. The 2% lead, though. But I don't think that's actually correct for them to do either. Because they're gonna be left with just the drop border. Right? Because we're always blocking like this. So they lose their Voice of the Risen. And we just deny this. And now opponent's down to just 1 card that they join. They lose the whole board. I guess it could be time bombs though, and like time tricks and stuff. Losing Tristana kind of sucks though. We have the same in Thousand Tail, so we do have a blocker, and we get more cards than the opponent does. If they get Ekko, we kind of just lose the game. Yeah, if they get Ekko, we kind of just lose the game though, right? Chronomancers, that lets him predict into something. Can do a second Saiyan next turn. We actually had time, Twin Disciplines to potentially kill an Ekko if we need to. We can also attack with the Saiyan Thousand Tails. There's no reason not to, because opponent doesn't have a good blocker into this, so they're gonna go ahead and take the damage. Another Bush of the Reasons is not enough because we have another blocker, and this is only gonna go up to 4. Rainbow Fish is actually kind of nice. It's gonna percent lethal if the opponent's not careful. So now what? Is that enough? That's not enough. Because we can go like this. We still have enough blockers for everything else. Opponent can only push 1 damage here. Opponent can only push 1 damage here. Let's just be mana efficient. Oh, that's even better. Yeah, it's always Grandfather Fate, right? So was Grandfather Fate. Opponent can't really do anything here. I guess they could technically join to a second Mystic. If they join to a second Mystic, that's a problem. This is only 4. Second Mystic is a problem. Second... It's a lot of things that can kill us here. You can Rainbow Fish this guy. That goes up to 6. Wow. If he has it, he has it, right? I don't think we Rainbow Fish the Tristana because she's too vulnerable to a twin. This is going to be 6, 7 with the impact, 8, 9 with the twin. He must have it. He must have the last Mystic or the second Crystal. Because he needs to commit it right here. Oh, we got there. We got there. Oh, man, we got there. Yeah, so we played around Quicksand by putting the Rainbow Fish on the Alka. Because the Alka has Spell Shield, right? So he can not get rid of the Impact. He can not get rid of the Elusive. So the rainbow fish will be sorry, the outcast with the rainbow fish is 6 plus impact is 7 plus twin will be 9. GG's. That was, oh man, that was really, really close. I think we got lucky that the opponent only ever drew 1 echo. If the opponent ever had a second echo that game, we just lose the game right off the bat. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Shadow Owls, Jayce, Control. So Grandfather Fate is always good. Grandfather Fate is always good. Am I supposed to keep the Face Sprout? I don't think Tristana is a keep. I think I want to see if I can get the Glimmy Lantern is a good keep. I want to see if I get the Grandfather Fade, right? The Face Sprout could be good though, right? I think I'm gonna get Mulligan. There we go. This is a much better hand now. I think it's fine to harm Mulligan like this. Because we can do the commando here. And I actually think it's correct to open attack with the commando. Because the Gleaming Lance is always just going to get chump blocked by the Spiderling, so I don't think it's necessary to summon it. And I want to see if the opponent commits mana on killing this card first to allow us to summon the Gleaming Lantern for free. Perfect. Because what I don't want to do is that I don't want to summon the Gleaming Lantern, right? And they have the opponent use like a thermal on it to actually kill it. So I think it was always correct to just attack first and bait the opponent into using the removal. Because now we know that the opponent does, and they had the thermal, right? If we play the Gleaming Lantern first, we would have always lost to the thermal. Now, blocking the Elise does mean that we lose to like a Aphelios Fizz, which is a little bit annoying. Oh, he's gonna just go for the Challenger. Is that correct? I mean, I guess we can always just bounce it back, right? We can always just bounce it back. We actually probably should have summoned the Alka, by the way. I think it's correct to bounce it back. I think it's correct to bounce it back, trade 2 for 2. So the problem that I have now is that by leaving the Elise alive, she does become a big issue as the game goes on longer and longer. We can summon the second one. Man, having 2 Grandfather Face would have been a lot better than where we are right now. I like the Tasty Tayfolk. He still leaves us with the mana for... He's gonna do the Battle Feast right now. Which makes sense. By doing the Battle Feast right now, opponent doesn't have to worry about like Hungry Outcats later. If we go like this... We get to heal back up. Opponent probably gonna level up Elise, by the way. Opponent's probably gonna be able to level up the Elise. And they can just resummon the Jayce next turn with the same thing again with Challenger to actually get Challenger value. I guess what we can do is the same in Thousand Tails to put all our units away from the Challenger. I think that sounds about correct. We can deny any Setsuka spell. So let's say that the opponent does Jayce here. I'm okay with losing 1 Seinen. So the opponent decided not to do Jayce, in which case I think it's completely fine to just glue the Seinen right now and call it a day. Just get our value. Because we know that our units are not going to die. We could also do the Face Sprout. Potentially get something that we can use. I kind of like the Papercraft. We still have the deny for anything else that the opponent might do to us. 2 Papercraft Dragons with units that have Spell Shield. Doesn't sound bad. You'll also put it on the Teemo, to be honest. This is 3, 4. We still have enough mana. Yeah, I don't mind putting it on the Teemo. We have the deny for the Shock Blast or the Vengeance. Yeah, so we have the deny for the Shock Blast. We can put the Papercraft on the Teemo, which is going to make the Teemo a 4-4. Opponent decided that it's better to just kill the Teemo now, which makes sense, I guess. Which makes sense, right? In which case, I still think the Papercraft is correct. I just don't know where I'm going to put it. Because opponent has ways to kill this guy, but he doesn't have a way to kill this guy, doesn't have a way to kill this guy. Yeah, let's do it here. Let's do it here. Elise is a problem. We just used up our deny. We're kind of low on resources now. I guess we had to keep... You know what? We got greedy. We got greedy. I think we got slightly greedy. Okay, so losing the Gleaming Lancer is not a big deal to me because again we have another. We already used like all our phase anyways. Still have a pretty good board, but opponent's still at 20 HP. I would have loved to get the Rainbow Fish instead, by the way. If the opponent tries to go after anything else, it's gonna be a problem for them. I want him to sacrifice the Jayce. So I wanna put it on this guy so that if the opponent pulls anything, he's gonna lose the Jayce to the Poke Stick. So he actually shouldn't pull. Oh, he's gonna pull here anyways. So I'm okay with this then. I think I'm okay with this. Because we can just keep putting Rainbow Fish on something else. Ah, sorry, the Papercraft on something else, right? We can even give something quick attack now. Instead of the like we can do both. We can do quick attack here. Papercraft here. And still have access to Poke Stick if we need to. He can't trade into any of our units. So opponent's gonna have a hard time here. He's gonna actually go ahead and do it this way. It doesn't matter to me if he uses it right now, I guess. I guess I'm okay with this. Is it Papercraft then, or are we just doing the Quill? I guess let's just do it here. Eventually, opponent's gonna run out of blockers, right? We can Poke Stick the Spiderling. This has Spell Shield. Opponent levels up the Jayce, which is the problem now, right? Because the leveled up Jayce means that the opponent will be able to have all the removal that they need. We can try to bounce back the Jayce instead. I think we actually Pokey first, making him have a harder time blocking, having to lose one of his champions. So now opponent... Ooh, that's huge. So now opponent's gonna have to lose one of their champions. Yeah, you can't get greedy here. That's the second Jayce. Opponent went for the quick attack. We have the deny. We can bounce back the Jayce. Opponent does have enough mana to like kill both our units if he wants to. Yeah, so by doing the double shock blast, he gets value here. But the double shock blast is still not enough to kill us. Opponent needs to commit one more spell on top of the shock blast. I guess they could technically have well here. Actually, I don't need to poke you right now. I wonder what he does here. Shock Blast again, and that's where we go like this. And then we open attack, and if the opponent has Battle Feast, I guess we get punished. Otherwise, opponent could also have the Whale, which is what we kind of talked about a little bit. Kind of like the Poke Stick here. Potentially draw into something else, like an Opify. Syncopation. That's not bad. That's not bad. That is actually not bad at all. So opponent's probably gonna have Vengeance, right? In which case I wanna do the Minion as a syncopation target. We have the Battle Feast. Ooh, I think he still loses now, right? So we can... Well, let's see. How do we do this? So opponent going like this. We can save this. Owlcat, or we can save the Saint in Thousand Tails. We can just double Papercraft. We can Quick Quill and Papercraft as well. But opponent could easily have a blocker. Syncopation plus... It's only going to be 10. I don't think we need to Syncopation right now. I do want to threaten the Twin, though. You know, I'm going to let it go. I think I'm going to keep the Twin. And instead, I'm going to just replay all my attached units. Right? I think we're going to do Quick Quill. And then do the Papercraft. And that's still going to be 10 damage to the face. That the opponent has to deal with. Or, I mean, they can block. But now we know they only have one card in their hand, right? So now we only have one card in their hand, which is the big deal. We can pick the minion next turn, giving us access to Syncopation again, and we can put Papercraft Dragon in the other units. Opponent does have enough mana to play Jayce and place a 2-mana spell. He's gonna go after the Quick Quill. I don't know if that's gonna matter though. If they use the Acceleration Gate, it does give the Jayce Quick Attack, which will allow him to survive. But again, I just don't know if that's enough. It's gonna Shock Blast. It's gonna Shock Blast. So I'm okay with this. Right? I'm gonna put the Tasty Faithful. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bait him into attacking. And then we're gonna kill the Jayce with the Twin. And now we don't have to worry about Jayce anymore. That's the second Jayce. Opponent's down to just a single card. Opponent just send the third Jayce back to their deck. Next, so we can do the minion into Papercraft, and the minion can do a lot of damage. Or we can just Tristana. I think we do minion first. So I think we always do minion first so that we can Syncopation to save Tristana. Because Tristana alone is going to finish the game. So we can Tristana, Papercraft, Syncopation, and be able to finish. I don't think the opponent has enough removal. I guess this is one way to do it, right? I guess opponent could technically have the removal now. It's like opponent's playing around Syncopation, which is crazy to me. It's literally like the opponent's playing around Syncopation. What do you have? That's not enough. Oh, that's not enough. Opponent messed up. Opponent probably thought that the Aftershock was going to be enough, but the Aftershock is only 3 damage, so it doesn't kill Tristana. Or maybe they just wanted to show me what the last guy in their hand was. GG's. They were hoping to probably have Jayce still on the field and be able to draw twice with the Progress Day, do double Progress Day. But yeah, that was not enough. GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Poppy Bar. So I think this is gonna be bad for us. They have a lot of challengers, and challengers are really like probably the worst thing we want to see when we're going again when we're playing phase, right? Because opponent will actually be able to challenge our units away from us and be able to kill us that way. It's a little bit of a problem. Tristana is not bad. Tristana is not bad. Obviously, we get the Gleaming Lantern, which is always a plus. We can do the Bando Commando first. Opponent could technically have Sharp Side, I guess, to stop the Commando from actually pushing damage. But if the opponent's using the Sharp Side right now, I think I'm okay with that. Teemo, we can save Teemo for later. Yeah, so let's say they have Sharp Side. Okay, they don't have Sharp Side. I would have been completely fine if the opponent used Sharp Side right there. They could have the Challenger, which actually tells me that I should not summon the Gleaming Lantern. Although, you know what, I'm gonna do it anyways. Let's say that the opponent has the Broadwind. My hand is not really full of phase, so I think I'm okay doing it this way. Opponent could have the Sharp Side, and if they do, I'm okay taking it. I think I'm gonna take the block. Have the opponent do it. Wow. Was he bluffing us? I mean, I know he didn't have the Sharp Side from last turn. And so what could it have been then? Ah, like was that really the buff? Was that really a bluff? Huh. I mean, props to him. I wouldn't have bluffed that way, but props to them. The problem here is that we don't have any face actually to take advantage of the second Gleaming Lantern. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. See if we can draw into one of our face. Okay, like this. This is pretty good. So we can actually do the Tasty Folk and also do Teemo. And I'm willing to attack with everything. I'm willing to attack with everything except the Alka, because the Alka gives him a value trade. Yes, everything except Alka seems correct to me. I don't want to give him the value trade. Opponent doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to us because we don't have any face in our hand, right? We don't have any face in our hand, so I'm okay just taking this. I mean, sorry, letting the double thing die. I guess we're gonna be drawing into face here shortly because we have the same in Thousand Tails, so it would have been nice. And we do have the Hungry Alka, which would have been discounted. If we ever get the Papercraft Dragon, that actually could be pretty fun. Let's go ahead and do the Hungry Alka. It's like a free non-committal play. Opponent can easily kill one of this. I think he should have always gone for the Commando. Going for this is the wrong one to go for. Yeah, there we go. Again, we have a second Teemo, right? So it doesn't matter to us. We can Tristana here. And then we can second Teemo. And now the Teemo is going to be buffed up by Tristana. The second consideration, I could have Tristana first. But the reason I didn't want Tristana is to not put our Tristana at risk of like dying to like a challenger. Because opponents still have 2 mana. So they could still have had the broad win. So if he's going to go like this, I'm willing to pass. Because I want the Teemo to stay alive. I guess opponent's always going for the Tasty Folk, right? So they're never going for the Teemo. So how do we do this? How do we do this? Opponent has 7 mana. Well, I guess that's how we do it. Yeah, we just go like this. We just threaten the elusive damage. We have Twin Discipline to save our Tristana if we need to. Tristana, Teemo, and the other one are pushing 11. With Twin, it's actually lethal. If opponent doesn't have the sharp side, it's gonna be lethal. But I don't think I actually commit the lethal here. I don't think I commit the lethal. I think we just play it slow. With the puff caps, I'm okay with this, playing it slow. Especially because we're gonna draw more, right? And we're gonna get another, we're gonna get some more value here. Because we're gonna have the Seinen. Yeah, I'm gonna do it like this. This is gonna give me some value. He's gonna have to try to kill Tristana, right? But it's not enough because we have the Twin Discipline on top of it. Yeah, this is not enough. You can kill Teemo. You can go like this. You can go over there as well. You also lose your whole board. You have no way to kill the elusives. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. That's what I thought. It said that we're gonna start getting impacts, right? We're gonna start getting impact triggers here. We still have 2 elusives on the field. Needs to find a way to kill Tristana. And I don't think he has it. He has the challenger. So the fact that he's doing it like this tells me that the opponent has the rally. So opponent's gonna have the rally and he'll be able to actually clear our whole board. We actually could have summoned the Hungry Alka, to be honest. Yeah, so here's the challenger. So the reason that I saved the Hungry Alka is because I might want to do a Netstein instead. Opponent definitely has the opponent definitely has the rally. I keep saying challenger. Opponent has the second rally here. I said that we have the twin, right? Like all we need is Tristana to survive. Yeah. I'm still gonna pass. As long as we have 2 elusives, we're okay. Tristana's gonna survive. Do we even want Tristana to survive? Or do we just want to replay the win? No, I think we want Tristana to survive. So we want Tristana to survive. because Tristana is able to give impact, right, to our other units. Opponents at 2 HP, which means that the impact will actually kill them. So we can get impact on the Hungry Owlcat, impact on the Minion, impact on the Grandfather Fay, impact everywhere else. Opponent will need to actually have the Sharp Side. The Sharp Side is no longer enough because we have double impact. I want to summon another unit. I want to summon another unit first, just so that we can play around a Concerted Strike or a single combat. The Elusive, again, doesn't really matter to us. We can go do the Owlcat. Like, the impacts alone are going to present lethal. I want to make sure that we don't die to a Concerted Strike hitting the Tristana. So yeah, the impacts are enough to present lethal. Any rally that the opponent has is going to be slow speed spell. So yeah, GG's. Close game though, close game. If he had popped it anytime earlier, they could have got a better chance there, but he didn't, so yeah. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Sivir Akshan. This is bad for us. So usually, the Demacia decks tend to do really well against Fae. So the fact that we ran into Sivir Akshan when we haven't really seen that many Sivir Akshan these seasons is a little bit unfortunate, right? Only happens to me. Only happens to me. We can Teemo. The question is, should we block here? You know what? I'm gonna block. The less damage we take now, the better. I think I'm gonna block, right? Because we don't want that thing to attack more than once either. It also means that we don't have to play around Sharp Side now, right? So now we can do the Commando and not have to play around Sharp Side, which is pretty good for us. We have Glimmering Lantern plus Grandfather Fay next turn, allowing us to be able to summon a lot of units, which is pretty good. So we can do Grandfather Fay, Glimmering Lantern, Rainbow Fish, Hungry Owlcat. Or we can put the Tasty Folk. I'm gonna do the Glimmering Lantern. I'm gonna give him the option if he wants to kill our Glimmering Lantern. He's never gonna do that, right? Because he's always gonna go after this guy instead, which is completely fine with us, because now he just lets us continue to develop. So, opponent probably actually, I think, needed to kill this. Now, we have two options here. Obviously, Hungry Owlcat means that we do, I guess we can still do the Rainbow Fish, but it's more efficient for us to do the Rainbow Fish first. However, if we do the Rainbow Fish first, we're not going to be able to put it on a unit that actually has Spell Shield on it. But I think it's fine, because we also have the Syncopation now to be able to protect our units. I think we just go double Owlcat, plus having access to the Glimmering Lantern, and call it a day. And we can just attack with everything. Because the opponent doesn't really have good blockers here, right? They will have to sacrifice their Broadwind and the Action. And the moment they kill the Glimmering Lantern, we just get the Rainbow Fish right back to our hand. I guess they could technically have Sharp Sight, and that would let them keep one of their units alive. Our hand is really low value now, which is also unfortunate, because we don't really have anything else here. Yeah, so Sharp Sight protects the Action. Otherwise, you're taking 8, and if you're taking 8, that's okay with us. I think that's fine with me, right? We still keep one more Owlcat. Opponent actually did not have a way to protect Action. That's actually surprising to me. We can do a Tasty Fey Folk. Oh, wow. I don't know if that's worth it. I guess he advances your Warlord's Palace by 2, but now I know that you use a Cataclysm. So now opponent just used all 3 mana and a Cataclysm instead of killing something, and now we also get Tristana on top of it. Now we also get Tristana on top of it. We can play Tristana here, and opponent will not be able to attack. We just open attack next turn. It doesn't matter to me the 5 damage that the opponent does, because he's just gonna heal it up, right? We can just open attack next turn, and opponent's gonna be forced to block, right? With something here. And that's it. Now what? Now you have 6 mana. We open attack. You're gonna have to probably sacrifice your Sivir. If you're not careful, we can always Syncopation for the win. I think I actually want to say Syncopation for when the opponent commits something like a Concerted Strike or a single combat, right? Sharp Sight. So now he decides to block the Glimmering Lantern. That's still lethal. You need to block Tristana or the Glimmering Lantern. Opponent does the Concerted. It said that we can actually just win, right? So now we can just this plus twin, and that will be enough to save it. We could also just swap. I think I'd rather swap, right? And because we give this as spell shield, and then we have the twin, and we're also able to kill the Akshan and not let him resummon. Oh no, but if we swap, we're not committing lethal, because that's only gonna be 8, 10, because 20 is no longer doing 3. So it's just this then, right? Yeah, this is lethal. Yeah, this is lethal here, because he only gets to strike with Sivir. Tristana has 7 health. And now we push the damage. He also loses his whole units, and there we go. It's supposed to be a bad matchup for us, but we were able to go aggressive enough early on. And we were able to do all the damage. I do think opponent needed to commit that sharp side beforehand, but I guess... Like, I think he needed to commit it on the previous turn to actually kill... No, but I guess that wouldn't have mattered, right? That wouldn't have really mattered. I think opponent got greedy trying to keep his Akshan alive. If he blocked with Akshan last turn, he would have been in a better spot, even if he had to sacrifice the Akshan. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Zoe Aphelios. Zoe Aphelios Shadow Owls. This is interesting. I like the idea of the Rainbow Fish. I don't think the Napify is needed. I don't mind keeping Tristana, but I probably want Gleaming Lantern, and that's a lot of Gleaming Lanterns to get. Bando Commando is actually pretty good as well. So it's kind of annoying, but opponent shouldn't have a way to stop the Bando Commando next turn, right? I guess they could technically have Spell Cascade, and they could use Spell Cascade without drawing. That's so good. This is so good now. It's Gleaming Lantern into Grandfather Fae. Yeah, we always attack here. He even gives us another Alka for free. Do we take that damage, I guess? That's the question. I guess we have to, right? We have to take that 3 damage. Okay. And now we just Gleaming Lantern. Opponent could have the Equinox from the Super Cool Shan. Okay. Now we get another Gleaming Lantern next turn. And we're able to go super wide here. Yeah, it's always second Gleaming Lantern first, because this is countered by 2. I guess we got on the Grandfather Fae first, to be honest. It's the same thing, right? Okay, here's the question. Do we do the Rainbow Fish first?
Targon's history is in each stone and star.
Do we do the Rainbow Fish or do we go wide? We could also Tristana. We could also Tristana and then Grandfather Fae. I kind of feel like I want to keep mana for Twin Discipline so I can kill the Mountain Squire if the opponent wants to like do something fancy. So I think I am going to just do the Grandfather Fae. But then I'm going to do the Hungry Owlcats. Right? We can attack with everything here. Because if the opponent tries to block, we can twin. I want to attack with everything and just put the pressure. Opponent's going to go after one of our Gleaming Lanterns, which makes the most sense. But if they don't block with anything else, they're taking 11 damage eagle. So they decided to block with the Mountain Squire. And this is when we can do our twin. Opponent could have Spell Cascade here to kill our Bando Commando. In which case, I might actually kill the Zoe instead of killing the Mountain Squire. The Mountain Squire, yeah. So I think killing the Zoe is a little bit more important just because the opponent is gonna get so much value, right? And because we also have the Rainbow Fish. So we still have Hungry Owlcats, and now we have Tristana that's also gonna be leveled up. We do lose one of the Grandfather Fae, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it did allow us to push more damage than the other way around. I think we can do the Hungry Owlcat, because now we can just play Tristana leveled up and summon the second Hungry Owlcat next turn. Or we can even do the Rainbow Fish, right? So now, because we did the Owlcat right now, we have a leveled up Tristana, and we have Rainbow Fish available for us. Or we can do Hungry Owlcat and have Tristana Buster Shot available. The Buster Shot is going to be good, depending on what the opponent plays here. So he has one card that he got from Scryer. And he still has the super cool chain available for him. So the card from Squire could be annoying depending on what it is, because it's gonna be discounted. So I might be tempted to use the Buster Shot on the Squire. What I'm trying to wait for is to see if it's gonna be like the Three Sisters. Because if it's a Three Sister, I feel like I should kill the Lifesteal one. Oh wait, it's gonna be Aphelios. Okay, so if it's Aphelios, I think we should just kill the Aphelios. I think we can do the Hungry Owlcat and have the Tristana Buster Shot, and we can kill the Aphelios. Yeah, there you go. So he goes like this. We can kill. So that's why I wanted to, because we needed to summon a unit to get advantage, because he's always gonna do that. Yeah, I think killing Aphelios is fine, because opponent has to block with the Mountain Scryer, and that's Mountain Scryer, and that's there anyways. Right? Opponent has no choice but to block with the Mountain Scryer. Otherwise, they just take too much damage. We just need to open attack to play around like any random stuff that the opponent might have. Like, because the opponent probably has a slow speed spell from the Mountain Scryer. So I want to do this before the opponent is able to do something like the Meteor Shower. I guess opponent could have the Hush here. Or they could have the Celestial Wonder. Yeah, so that's the Hush. Steel goes down to 9, by the way. That's lethal if you go this way. Yeah, you have to get rid of our boar. We can go ahead and put a Rainbow Fish. Blocking this way. Yeah, blocking this way is slightly better for you. For sure. You get rid of the attack, the higher attack units. Opponent just used their Hush. Hasn't used the card that has... That he got from the Mountain Square yet. I think I want to put the Rainbow Fish in the Hungry Owlcat instead, by the way, because the Hungry Owlcat has Spell Shield. So it's a little bit safer than doing the Tristana. Because he's not going to be able to be stuck. Now opponent has another... Invoke, or another Celestial, sorry. We can actually do the Tasty Folk and give Tristana 2 impact, which means that the opponent dies to the impact trigger. Okay, so he's searching. The opponent's digging. Trying to see what they could. I guess they could have the heals, right? So they could have the 5-mana heal. So he has 3 Celestial cards in his hand that we haven't seen. 2 of them could be anything, because the Priestess and the Mountain Scryer. And the third one is gonna be whatever he got from... Yeah, so there you go. So he had the Meteor Shower, which is what I was talking about before, that he definitely had the Meteor Shower. In which case, I'm going to do this now instead. I'm trying to be mana efficient. I think we just go wide. And we go like this. This allows us to go fully wide. Yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead and kill the Grandfather. You lose the Serpent, right? I guess he could actually gem and kill one of these other units. But if he kills... I don't agree with that. I guess he stops himself from dying to the elusive fish, which makes sense. Do we ever develop? I think we develop. I think we go ahead and develop. I like the develop because... I guess because opponent already showed us 2 of the Celestial cards, right? Meteor Shower and Serpent. So I think the develop is always better. I'm actually debating if I should do the Rainbow Fish as his own unit instead of actually summoning it. Yeah, because opponent probably has a bunch of heal, and I don't want to have to deal with the heals. So I think developing is always correct, because opponent wants us to open attack, and then they have stuff like the stun, the heal, etc. I really think that the opponent's gonna have a way to deal. Like if we go for the elusive, I really think the opponent's gonna have like a stun or a way to deal with it. Like they probably have the Fallen Comet, for example. So I think I'm gonna go wide. I think I'm gonna go wide instead. I think I'm gonna go like this. Opponent still has 1 Celestial card they haven't shown us. Okay, so they're digging again. Now, our units are gonna die. Yeah, okay, there we go. So I think we put them in a tough spot. I think I could have, because the opponent hadn't summoned the units from the second Celestial, the last Celestial card that he got, it either means that it was something really expensive, or it was something like Fallen Comet, and the opponent was waiting for us to put the Rainbow Fish. right? Because he couldn't fall in combat with the Owlcat because the Owlcat had Spell Shield. So yeah, I think that's the card that they had. So yeah, GG's. Hey, welcome back everybody. Hope you enjoyed those games. I think we had some pretty crazy close games there. Like the one against Ekko Zilean, I think was as close as you could possibly get. In terms of mulligan, I think you kind of see it, right? It's very obvious. You kind of mulligan in the same way that you mulligan for Fizz Aphelios, where you really want to get Gleaming Lantern and Grandfather Fay in your hands. Those tend to be the best hits that you could have in your hand, especially Gleaming Lantern. You want to mulligan for Gleaming Lantern more often than not, because that will enable the rest of your Fay units to be able to swarm the field really, really early. So Gleaming Lantern, Grandfather Fade. I don't like keeping Tristana that early unless if I get her, cool. But if I don't get her, that's also fine. Because you really, to make Tristana work, you need to have your Hungry Alka generators. So you need to have Commander or Grandfather Fade in the field to be able to actually start advancing her level of condition. So I think it's more important to kick Tristana out and just rely on your Gleaming Lantern, your Grandfather Fade, and your Commando. I will keep Commando a lot of the times because the earlier she drops down on the field, the better it is, right? So Commando, Grandfather Fade, Gleaming Lantern, hard mulligan for those, and you'll be set up to do well. Obviously, if you are going against aggro, maybe you keep Tasty Tayfolk. If you're going against like control, like let's say Feel the Rush, then you want to keep Deny. The rest of the stuff is going to be matchup dependent, right? So, but at the very and Teemo, Teemo can be good to keep on turn 1 as well if you know that you're going to be attacking. Like, okay, so I guess Teemo, Commando, Grandfather Fade, Gleaming Lantern. Those are the 4 that you want to, and then Deny and the Tasty Tayfolk depending on the matchup. So that's what I would go about in terms of mulligan for this deck. As always, if you like the content, please make sure to like the video below. You can also subscribe to us. We post videos every single day. And you can also find us on Twitch at Sirturmund. We will stream every now and then. We'll be back with more consistent streams after next week. And you can also find us on Discord and Twitter. The links to those are both in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again in a couple days.